the sky changed without warning. It began as a whisper across news channels, a flicker on military radar screens, and then, shadows covered cities. Above Earth, enormous shapes drifted into view. They were not satellites, not human machines. They were alien ships. The fleets of the Threx Dominion had arrived. They moved like mountains in the sky, blocking sunlight, making day feel like evening. From New York to Karachi, from London to Tokyo, people looked up and saw steel beasts larger than any aircraft carrier. Some ships hovered silently over oceans, others above capitals, while a massive vessel the size of a continent hung in high orbit, visible even in daylight. At first, there was no sound, no attack, no message. Just the crushing silence of a predator circling its prey. Governments froze. In the White House, generals argued over whether to fire missiles. In Moscow, commanders checked nuclear silos. In Beijing, satellites tracked hundreds of alien drones entering the atmosphere. Yet none dared to shoot. Everyone waited, uncertain, terrified that the first strike might bring the end. The world held its breath. In the streets, ordinary people stood with phones in their hands, recording the skies. Children pointed at glowing alien machines that glided between skyscrapers. Fishermen on the Arabian Sea saw strange orbs sink beneath the waves, sending out pulses of light. Farmers in Africa watched metallic probes land gently on the soil, scanning with beams of green light. It felt like an inspection, as if Earth was not a planet, but a cage being checked for weakness. Across news stations, anchors tried to keep calm, their voices shaking as cameras captured alien drones moving silently through neighborhoods. The machines had no wings, no engines, just black spheres floating above streets, looking at cars, factories, and power plants. Everywhere, the feeling was the same: Earth was no longer free. Inside a hidden command center deep beneath Geneva, world leaders connected through secure channels. Faces appeared on screens: the American president, the Russian premier, the Chinese chairman, and ministers from Europe, Asia, and Africa. For once, enemies sat together, united by fear. "What do they want?" someone asked. No one answered. The Threx ships had not fired a single shot. But their presence was louder than war. By simply being there, they announced power. And everyone understood the truth: if the aliens wanted, Earth could be destroyed in a day. In South America, people gathered in churches, praying. In Japan, sirens wailed across cities, urging citizens to take shelter. In the Middle East, soldiers looked to the sky, rifles shaking in their hands. In every corner of the globe, fear grew heavier with every minute. Still, Earth did nothing. No missiles, no fleets launched, no fighters scrambled. Humanity stayed silent. Not because it was weak, but because it was waiting. Somewhere in the silence, deep under mountains and oceans, secret facilities hummed to life. Machines humans had built in secret, long hidden from the world, were awakening. Humanity had prepared for this day, but the time to reveal that preparation had not yet come. Then, on the third day of silence, the aliens spoke. It was not a broadcast on human channels. It was everywhere, in the sky, in the air, in every device. Phones vibrated, radios crackled, televisions turned on by themselves. The voice was deep, metallic, without emotion, as if spoken by the universe itself. "People of Earth," it said. Crowds froze in streets. "You have been observed. You have been measured. You are found insufficient." The words echoed in every language at once, translated inside human minds. No one knew how, but everyone understood. On giant screens in Times Square, the voice became an image. A towering alien figure appeared, tall, armored, with insect-like mandibles and cold glowing eyes. This was the face of the Threx Dominion. "Your planet belongs to us now," the figure declared. "Your lives will serve our empire. Your resources will feed our fleets. You will obey, or you will not exist." People screamed. Some fell to their knees. Others shouted in anger. Governments ordered emergency meetings, but the world already knew this was not a negotiation. It was a command. In Washington, the president whispered to her staff, "Not yet. Don't reveal anything yet." In Moscow, a general clenched his fists. "They think we are prey." In Beijing, the chairman simply nodded, staring at hidden screens that showed a different truth: secret weapons buried under deserts, waiting. Humanity was silent. But it was not broken. That evening, the Threk's voice returned. The alien leader's words burned across the planet, sharper, crueler. Submit, or be erased. The message echoed through every city, leaving no room for doubt. This was the first demand. This was the ultimatum. And the world, terrified yet waiting, realized the truth. The invasion had already begun, not with fire, but with fear. Yet in secret, far from alien eyes, humanity whispered back. Not on television, not on radios, but in bunkers, war rooms, and hidden laboratories. They whispered one promise. Push us further, and we will end everything. The aliens thought humans were weak. They had no idea what humanity was ready to do. And so, Earth waited. Silent. Afraid. But not broken. The day of submission had not yet come. But the day of defiance was near. The world did not sleep after the alien demand. Every screen still echoed with the voice of the Threk's dominion. Submit, or be erased. People whispered those words in crowded shelters, in darkened living rooms, in broken voices over phone calls. Some prayed. Some cursed. Some wept. But all of humanity knew that a choice was coming. Would Earth kneel, or burn? In New York, thousands gathered in Times Square, staring at the sky. Huge alien drones hovered above, their black surfaces glowing faintly as if feeding on human fear. Soldiers lined the streets, rifles ready, though everyone knew bullets would mean nothing. A child tugged on her mother's hand and whispered, "Why don't they just attack?" The mother had no answer. Inside the United Nations bunker in Geneva, leaders from every continent sat in a circle. The room was heavy with silence. Maps glowed on digital walls, showing alien fleets positioned above oceans and capitals. The aliens had surrounded the planet like wolves around a trapped deer. The American president spoke first. They want surrender. The Russian premier shook his head. They want slaves. The Chinese chairman leaned forward, his voice calm but sharp. They underestimate us. They think fear will break us. A European minister whispered, "Isn't it already breaking us?" The room darkened as a hidden screen lit up, showing deep underground chambers. Scientists worked around machines larger than aircraft, covered in steel plating, glowing with strange energy. Weapons humanity had hidden for decades, known only to a few. The strategist general stood. His voice was steady. If we fight them with normal weapons, we lose. But if we reveal Project Endgame now, we risk everything. The president answered softly, "Not yet. Let them think we are weak. Let them push further. Then the world will see what we are willing to do." For 3 days, the aliens waited for Earth's reply. In those days, fear turned into anger. In Brazil, crowds burned alien effigies in protest. In India, people painted giant murals on rooftops that read, "We will not kneel." In Africa, tribes sang war songs that had not been heard for centuries. In Europe, church bells rang, calling people to stand together. The aliens watched silently, their drones recording every detail. And then, the Dominion spoke again. It began as thunder in the sky. Ships shifted above the planet, creating storms. Lightning cracked across the heavens as the alien leader's voice returned, louder, harsher. "People of Earth, you have had your time to think. Your answer is demanded now. Submit to the Dominion, or your cities will fall in flames." The words echoed like doom across the planet. And then came the broadcast, not from the aliens, but from Earth. Every channel on Earth suddenly changed. A single image appeared, the seal of the United Nations. Then, the face of the American president, tired but unbroken. She spoke not just as one nation, but for all. Her voice was calm, steady, and every word carried like steel. "People of Earth, today, we face an enemy that believes fear will break us. They think we will kneel. They think we will beg for mercy. But they are wrong." The world listened, holding its breath. "To the Threk's dominion," she continued, her eyes fixed on the camera, "hear our answer. Push us further, and we will end civilization itself. You may burn our cities. You may poison our skies. But if you try to take this planet, we will make sure you never hold it. We will make Earth useless to you, useless to anyone, for thousands of years. Gasps echoed across homes, shelters, and bunkers. Some were horrified. Some felt pride. But all understood, this was not a threat of surrender, it was a threat of defiance. You think we fear extinction, she said, her voice sharp as iron. But hear this, humanity fears chains more than death. Push us further, and we will not die alone. We will take you with us. The screen went dark. In space, silence stretched. The alien fleets hovered motionless, as if stunned. For the first time, the predators had been answered not with submission, but with a promise of mutual destruction. In the alien flagship, the Threx overlords debated. They are weak, one growled. They bluff. Another hissed, but if they are not bluffing? If they burn their world, the loss will be ours as well. For the first time in centuries, the Threx dominion hesitated. On Earth, ordinary people felt something stir in their hearts. In the ruins of fear, something new was born, defiance. Soldiers stood taller. Civilians clenched their fists. Children whispered the president's words as if they were a prayer. Across the planet, humanity spoke the same sentence in 1,000 tongues. Push us further, and we will end everything. But the Threx were not finished. The next morning, alien ships moved again. Drones swarmed in thicker numbers, scanning power plants, armies, and even schools. One massive ship drifted lower, its shadow covering Paris entirely. Then came the first test. A Threx vessel fired a single beam into the ocean near Australia. The water boiled, a tsunami rising. Millions screamed as waves crashed against coastlines. It was not a strike to destroy. It was a warning. The aliens wanted to show Earth what disobedience would cost. In response, underground bunkers lit up again. Human scientists activated weapons not yet revealed, humming with power. Generals prepared orders. The line had been crossed. The ultimatum had been given. And humanity had answered with a threat no empire had ever faced. If Earth must die, then so will its conquerors. The warning shot over Australia was only the beginning. All across Earth, people felt the truth. The Threx dominion would not wait forever. Humanity's defiance had bought time, but not safety. Every day, the alien ships grew bolder, their drones swarming like locusts over farms, factories, and cities. And then, at dawn on the 7th day, the first strike came. It happened in Cairo. Without warning, a Threx vessel broke from the sky. The ship hovered above the ancient city, glowing with energy. Then a single beam of white light tore downward. In seconds, blocks of homes, schools, and markets turned to ash. A cloud of fire rose into the sky. Screams echoed through streets. Families ran through smoke. Soldiers fired rifles that did nothing but bounce off the alien hull. In minutes, the heart of Cairo was burning. The Dominion's voice returned, cold and merciless. This is the price of defiance. Submit, or more cities will fall. The world watched in horror. Billions saw the images live on screens. The fear was complete. But then, something unexpected happened. Above the Mediterranean Sea, a strange pulse erupted from the waves. Invisible energy rippled outward like a silent thunderclap. The alien ship above Cairo shuddered. Its glowing lights flickered. Suddenly, the massive vessel began to drop, engines silent. Gasps filled the city as the impossible happened. The invincible predator was falling. The alien ship crashed into the desert outside Cairo, sending up a mountain of sand and fire. For the first time in history, humanity had struck back. In underground bunkers, generals watched with grim satisfaction. The weapon had worked. It was not a missile, not a nuclear bomb, but a pulse weapon, a machine built to disrupt alien technology, designed in secret for decades. Humanity had tested it quietly on satellites, hiding it beneath oceans and deserts. Until now, it had never been used. Now, it had brought down a ship of the Dominion. Around the world, cheers erupted. In Cairo, survivors lifted their fists, chanting, "We are not weak." In Europe, church bells rang louder. In Asia, firecrackers burst in celebration. For the first time since the invasion began, hope lit the planet. But in the alien flagship above Earth, the Threx overlords hissed in fury. They have weapons, one growled. They have hidden them, another spat. They dare resist the Dominion. For the first time in centuries, the predators had bled. In Washington, the president addressed the world again. This time, her voice was different. Not fearful, not desperate, but burning with strength. We are not prey, she said. We are predators. We are hunters. We will not kneel. Across the globe, her words spread like fire. Soldiers saluted. Civilians shouted in the streets. Humanity was no longer silent. But victory came with a price. The Dominion's fleets moved closer. Dozens of ships descended from orbit, blotting out skies above Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Cities shook as their shadows fell. The aliens had been challenged. Now, they would answer. In Paris, drones unleashed sonic blasts, shattering windows and collapsing bridges. In Mexico City, alien orbs hovered over military bases, melting tanks with beams of heat. In Seoul, entire neighborhoods were scanned and marked for destruction. The message was clear: for every alien ship destroyed, humans would suffer. Yet humanity did not back down. In secret facilities, scientists worked day and night, building more pulse weapons. Engineers prepared countermeasures. Generals planned guerrilla strategies, not to match alien firepower, but to outsmart it. Humanity could not win by strength. But it could win by making the invasion cost more than the Dominion could afford. In Cairo, survivors gathered around the wreck of the fallen alien ship. Its metal hull smoked, its engines dead. For the first time, humans stepped onto an alien vessel. Soldiers entered cautiously, weapons raised. Inside, they found strange corridors glowing faintly. And then, they saw them. Alien bodies. The Threx were tall, armored, insect-like, with claws sharp as knives. Their mandibles dripped with strange fluid. Their eyes glowed faintly, even in death. For the first time, humanity looked its enemy in the face, and saw it could bleed. Soldiers carried the corpses back to laboratories. Scientists whispered, "Now we learn their weaknesses." The Dominion, enraged, broadcast again. "Earth, you have taken one ship. You believe this is victory? We will show you the cost of defiance." The screen filled with images of alien fleets preparing massive weapons, beams capable of turning whole continents to ash. Fear returned. The cost of defiance was growing. But in the shadows, Earth prepared its answer. In the deserts of Nevada, a hidden launch bay opened, revealing a black spacecraft built in silence for decades. In the frozen Arctic, submarines carried strange devices beneath the ice. In the mountains of South America, a hidden command center powered up machines older than satellites. Humanity's secrets were waking. And while the Dominion believed they had broken Earth's will, something far stronger had been born. Defiance had turned into determination. The Threx thought they could terrify a planet into submission. Instead, they had awakened its rage. And as the first alien ship lay burning in the sands of Cairo, humanity whispered one promise across the globe. This is only the beginning. The wreck of the alien ship outside Cairo changed everything. For the first time, the galaxy's predators had fallen to prey. Humanity had proved it could fight back. Across Earth, cheers had echoed, but so did fear. Because everyone knew what would come next: retaliation. And it came quickly. 3 days later, the skies darkened again. This time, not one ship, but hundreds. Alien reinforcements arrived, their shapes blotting out stars, their engines shaking the atmosphere. The Threx Dominion had called in their war fleets. From orbit, fire rained down. Cities burned in Africa, Asia, and South America. Entire neighborhoods disappeared in white light. Bridges collapsed, power grids died, oceans boiled where beams touched water. Humanity's defiance had cost them dearly, and now the Dominion demanded a heavier price. But Earth did not kneel. In Seoul, soldiers used hidden tunnels to ambush alien drones. Explosives planted in skyscrapers collapsed entire districts, burying invaders under concrete. In Brazil, resistance fighters lured alien scouts into the Amazon rainforest. The jungle swallowed the drones, vines and rivers slowing their machines until pulse weapons finished them. In Kenya, villagers armed with scavenged weapons fought alongside military forces, striking alien patrols in hit-and-run attacks. Everywhere, humanity fought not with superior firepower, but with cunning, with traps, with rage. The Threx called them fragile. Yet here they were, fighting like predators. Inside the alien flagship, the overlords argued. They fight like cornered beasts. They bleed us. Each ship destroyed weakens the Dominion. They cannot win, one hissed. But they refuse to lose, another growled. For the first time in their long empire, the Threx began to feel something alien to them, doubt. Meanwhile, on Earth, hidden secrets kept surfacing. In Nevada's desert, a black human spacecraft launched silently, invisible to alien scans. It slipped into orbit and fired a pulse blast that crippled a Dominion cruiser. In the Arctic, submarines emerged through breaking ice, releasing strange devices that emitted pulses across the oceans. Alien drones crashed into the sea like falling stars. In the Himalayas, deep in a mountain base, scientists activated something older than the invasion. Machines built in secret since the Cold War. Devices powerful enough to disrupt entire fleets. The world saw it now. Humanity had not been unprepared. For decades, leaders had suspected this day would come. And they had built in silence, waiting. But the fight was brutal. In Paris, alien beams tore through the Eiffel Tower, toppling it in fire. In Mexico City, entire blocks were flattened. In Sydney, survivors fled inland as alien war machines stalked the coast. The Threx were furious now. They wanted to make an example of Earth. But every attack brought more resistance. One night, in the ruins of Cairo, survivors painted words on walls with the blood of fallen comrades. Better ashes than chains. Photos of those words spread across the world. Soon, it became a chant shouted in every protest, every battlefield. Humanity's fear was turning into fury. In Geneva, the underground command center buzzed with activity. Leaders studied alien fleet movements, scientists refined the pulse weapons, and generals planned their next strike. The strategist general spoke, "We can't meet them head-on. But we can bleed them. We can make Earth so costly they'll have to retreat." The president nodded. "Then we turn every city, every mountain, every ocean into a trap. Let them come. We'll bury them piece by piece." And so, Earth's strategy changed. No longer hiding, humanity became hunters. In the ruins of Moscow, soldiers lured Dominion troops into subway tunnels rigged with explosives. In Africa, rebel fighters attacked alien ships while they refueled, forcing them to abandon supplies. In America, drones built by engineers flew suicide missions into enemy weapons. Every loss made humanity fight harder. The Dominion had thought Earth would surrender quickly. Instead, it had become their nightmare, a planet that would rather burn than bow. The galaxy was watching. On distant worlds, alien species under Dominion control whispered in secret. News spread, the humans resist. They made a Dominion ship fall. They dare to fight. For races that had known only fear, hope flickered for the first time in centuries. If humanity could stand against the Dominion, maybe others could too. The turning point came during the Battle of Nairobi. A massive Threx ship descended to crush the city. It unleashed waves of drones, beams tearing through streets. Civilians ran in terror. Soldiers fired desperately. It seemed hopeless. But then, from beneath the city, a pulse weapon fired upward. The blast ripped through the ship's systems. Sparks erupted, its engines failing. Before the Dominion could recover, hidden human artillery fired, old, rusty cannons fitted with new tech. The alien ship shook, flames tearing through its hull. And then, in a deafening explosion, it fell. Millions cheered. Nairobi had not fallen, it had become the grave of another Dominion warship. In orbit, the Threx watched in rage. "This world is poison," one hissed. "They would rather die than kneel. They are predators hiding in prey's skin." For the first time, the Dominion felt fear of losing control. On Earth, the president spoke again to the world. "We are not fighting for victory. We are fighting for choice. They believe fear will break us. But fear has made us stronger. We are not prey. We are the storm that hunts predators." Her words echoed across the globe. The turning point had come. Earth had proven it would not collapse. It would not submit. And the Threx Dominion, for all its power, had finally learned the truth. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was dangerous. The Battle of Nairobi had shaken the galaxy. Another Dominion warship lay in ruins, destroyed by a species that should have been helpless. Humanity had shown it would fight to the last breath. But the Threx Dominion was not finished. If Earth would not kneel, then Earth would be suffocated. Above the planet, the Dominion's largest ships began to move. These were not war cruisers or scout vessels, these were harvest ships, built for planetary punishment. Their cores glowed with blue fire. Their weapons were not designed to destroy cities, but to strip entire atmospheres. The plan was simple: burn the skies, collapse the air, and leave Earth a dead rock drifting through space. No air. No oceans. No life. When humans saw the first signs, panic spread across every continent. The skies shimmered unnaturally. Strange ripples formed in the clouds. Birds fell from the air, choking. The oceans foamed with unnatural waves. The Dominion was preparing to kill the world itself. In Geneva's hidden command center, alarms screamed. Scientists shouted over each other, pointing at data. They're destabilizing the atmosphere. They're targeting oxygen balance. If they finish, Earth will suffocate in less than a week. The president stood silent, her eyes on the screens showing the massive alien ships. Every leader in the bunker turned to her. The strategist general whispered the words everyone feared. It's time to consider Project Endgame. Project Endgame. The name had been hidden for decades, known only to a few. It was not a weapon of victory. It was not meant to save Earth. It was humanity's last card, a planetary self-destruct mechanism. Deep beneath the Earth's crust, scientists had placed fail-safe devices linked to volcanic systems, nuclear stockpiles, and tectonic fault lines. If activated, the devices would rip the planet apart, boiling the oceans, turning the skies to ash, making Earth uninhabitable for thousands of years. It was madness. It was suicide. But it was also a promise. If humanity could not live free, it would die free. The president looked at the general. If we use it, Earth is gone. Every man, woman, and child. Everything we are. The general's jaw was tight. Better ashes than chains. The Chinese chairman leaned forward. If we use it, they cannot win. They may kill us, but they will gain nothing. No planet. No resources. No victory. The room fell into silence. The choice was unbearable. Meanwhile, in the streets of cities under alien shadows, people began to understand what their leaders were debating. Whispers spread, they would rather destroy Earth than let the aliens have it. Some wept. Some were furious. But many nodded in grim agreement. Humanity had always feared extinction. But now, it feared slavery more. In orbit, the Threx broadcast again. Their leader's insect-like face filled every screen. Earth. You resist. You kill our ships. You dare defy the Dominion. But you cannot stop what comes. We will strip the breath from your world. You will suffocate in silence, your children gasping for air. Your cities will crumble in vacuum. This is your last chance, submit or die gasping. The threat was clear. But this time, humanity's answer was already prepared. The president appeared on global broadcasts. Her face was pale but steady. Her voice carried the weight of the planet. People of Earth. The Dominion believes fear will force us to our knees. They believe we value survival more than freedom. They are wrong. Billions listened in silence. If they try to take our world, we will give them nothing. Not our cities. Not our oceans. Not even our planet. We hold the power to end everything. If they push us further, we will make Earth uninhabitable for 1,000 years. They will not conquer us. They will inherit ash. Her words thundered through every home, every shelter, every battlefield. Earth was telling the galaxy the unthinkable: we are willing to burn everything. In the alien flagship, the Threx overlords hissed and argued. They bluff. No species would destroy itself. But what if they are not bluffing? What if they truly would burn their world? They are irrational. They are dangerous. For the first time in the Dominion's history, they hesitated. Predators were supposed to be fearless. But what predator fights prey that is willing to die just to take the predator down with it? On Earth, Soldiers braced for the end. Civilians gathered in churches, mosques, temples, and fields, whispering final prayers. Some kissed their children, some raised weapons, some stared silently at the sky. The atmosphere continued to weaken. Air shimmered strangely. Storms grew violent. Humanity knew time was running out. Inside the command center, the general's hand hovered over the activation code for Project Endgame. His voice cracked as he asked, "Do we do it?" The president closed her eyes. "Not yet. Let them see our resolve. Let them feel our defiance." The next broadcast did not come from the aliens. It came from Earth. On every screen, across the entire galaxy, humans transmitted a single message in clear, unbroken words. "Push us further, and we end civilization itself. You may kill us, but you will not conquer us. Earth will never kneel." Billions of beings across the galaxy heard those words. Races enslaved by the Dominion whispered in awe. Never before had a world dared to threaten its own destruction rather than surrender. For the first time, the Threx Dominion, masters of fear, rulers of countless systems, felt fear themselves. Because Earth was not bluffing. And the galaxy now knew it. The skies above Earth were burning. The Dominion's harvest ships glowed like suns, tearing at the atmosphere. Air shimmered, waves crashed, lightning split the skies. Humanity could feel the world suffocating. But humanity did not break. They had already made their choice. Inside Geneva's command bunker, the activation codes for Project Endgame lay on the table. One sequence of numbers, one final key, and the planet would erupt. The general's voice was steady, though his hands shook. "If they fire once more, we do it. Earth dies free." The president nodded. Her eyes were hollow with grief, but her voice carried steel. "So be it. No chains. Ever." The Threx Dominion expected fear. They expected chaos. They expected begging. Instead, they received silence. A silence colder than death. Billions of humans across the planet did not weep. They looked up at the skies, fists clenched, daring the invaders to strike. Children held their parents' hands without crying. Soldiers loaded rifles they knew were useless against harvest ships, yet still they aimed them at the sky. If the world ended today, it would not die on its knees. The Threx leader broadcast once more, his insectoid mandibles twitching. "Humans, your threats are meaningless. No prey destroys itself. You will submit." The president answered immediately. "No hesitation. No weakness. Try us." Her voice cut across the galaxy. Inside the alien flagship, silence fell. Commanders hissed in panic. What if they are not bluffing? If they destroy their own world, we gain nothing. Their courage spreads. Already, the Valen slaves riot on Korth Prime. Others whisper rebellion. These humans infect the galaxy with defiance. The Overlord struck the floor with his claws. "We are the Dominion. We cannot retreat." But the truth already weighed heavy. The Dominion's strength came from fear. And fear had failed. For the first time in history, the Dominion faltered. The harvest ships stopped firing. Their glowing cores dimmed. They hung in orbit, silent, uncertain. On Earth, billions held their breath. Soldiers in trenches, scientists in bunkers, children in shattered schools, all stared at the skies, waiting. Would the aliens call the bluff? Or would they retreat? Minutes passed. Then an hour. Finally, the alien fleet moved. Not to strike. To leave. One by one, the massive ships turned, their engines burning trails of light. Slowly, impossibly, the Dominion withdrew. When the last shadow passed beyond the moon, Earth erupted. Cheers, sobs, screams of joy, the planet roared as one. Strangers embraced in the streets. Families clung to each other. Soldiers collapsed, laughing through tears. Humanity had survived. Not because of weapons. Not because of numbers. But because they were willing to do the unthinkable. Because Earth had told the galaxy, "We will not kneel." But the story did not end there. Across the stars, in slave camps and broken worlds, news spread like wildfire. Hidden radios crackled. Smuggled screens flickered. The message repeated, unstoppable. Earth stood. Earth did not kneel. Earth threatened to burn before bowing. To races that had lived in chains for centuries, it was like lightning in the dark. If humans could defy the Dominion, perhaps others could too. Riots began. Revolts. Whispers of rebellion. The Dominion's iron grip was no longer unbreakable. And in the center of it all was Earth. In Geneva, the President gave her final address. Her voice carried not only to Earth, but to every hidden listener across the galaxy. We are humanity. We were born fragile, but we will never bow. The Dominion thought us weak. They thought us prey. But we are not prey. We are the storm that breaks the hunter's teeth. To every world that hears me, rise. You are not alone. The age of fear is ending. Her words traveled faster than fleets, faster than weapons. They traveled in hearts. The Threx Dominion, humiliated, retreated to its core systems. Its leaders raged, but they knew the truth. Their empire had been cracked. Not by battles. Not by technology. But by defiance. They had learned a terrible truth about humans. Humans were willing to lose everything, if it meant never being owned. Years later, historians would mark this day with a single phrase whispered in or across every world. The day Earth said enough. For on that day, the galaxy learned something it had never understood before. That the most dangerous enemy is not the strongest. Not the most advanced. Not even the most ruthless. The most dangerous enemy is the one who refuses to kneel. And Earth, fragile, scarred, but unbroken, had shown the stars exactly what that meant.